Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcat Sports Network. It's time to catch up with McHenry football coach Mike Babcock. And coach, last week the Bearcats opened their Great Lakes Valley Conference schedule, a road game, a night contest at Quincy University. And you said it in the post game when we talked after the contest. You could feel the vibe, the positive vibes on the sidelines, and it looked like the Bearcats came ready to play in all three phases of the game in a 48-14 win.
Yeah, I talked to the guys after the game. Really felt it was a team effort. Kind of that first game of the season that it was all three phases that really helped us win. And my hat's off to the guys. They played hard, especially for an in-state rivalry like this. I'm really happy to get the win last Saturday.
Let's talk about the defense first, because they were really, I thought, the big story on Saturday. They were flying to the football, got an early turnover, which led to a field goal that gave McHenry the lead, limited Quincy to 112 yards in the first half, and really the offense seemed to feed off of that.
Yeah, you look at some of the statistics, and some of the big ones that stand out are obviously only allowing 92 yards in the air. I think they did a nice job of kind of corralling the quarterback, kind of getting after him, really knocking down a lot of passes that could have been completions, getting off the field, the third down conversion rate, was definitely in our favor on Saturday. And, even in the third quarter, when it's 13-0, coming out, having two straight 3-and-outs, and then the offense going down and scoring touchdowns off those really kind of put the game away.
Then the offense in gear once again, another 500-plus yard performance total offense-wise. You mentioned a 13-0 at the break. The Bearcats come out and score 21 points in the third quarter, 35 in the second half, and it was the usual suspects. Reese Metcalf, a 300-yard day, accounted for 4 more touchdowns. Great day running the ball by all three running backs, Jericho Johnson, Jace Franklin, Preston Thompson. The receivers getting into the act with Jalen Williams having a big day as well.
Yeah, I think our offense is a little bit different than some, where you don't just have one guy that you got to account for. I think there's a lot of guys that play hard and are really kind of showing up. I was talking to one of the guys today at practice, and that's what it really feels like. It's just that there's a lot of weapons, and which is good. It makes for a balanced attack. You can't just stop one person or try to X's and O's one. It's a good ball club. So, my hope is that we can both run and throw the ball, and hopefully score some more points.
Even on special teams on Saturday, great contributions all around. Josh Lazaro, 2 big field goals in the first quarter to get the Bearcats off on the right foot. Monty Wolke, another fine job, not necessarily looking at the yardage, but he pins 2 punts inside the opponent's 20-yard line, and then some great returns from Kyle Harris and Matt Cole set up some scores for the Bearcats.
Yeah, you said it yourself. Anytime you can score points, with your field goal kicker is a plus, just because it ends drives with points, which is huge. And then I did feel Monty had a great game. We only punted 3 times, but still over a 40-yard average, and being able to pin him inside the 20. And really I kind of think the defining moment on special teams was the kickoff return. Being able to have a 15-yard penalty, they got a kick from their 20-yard line. Now all of a sudden we have a big return by Matt Cole, and now all of a sudden it's at the plus 36 to start a drive. That's great. That's awesome. So I think special teams kind of rounded out the team victory for us on Saturday. So obviously a nice win on the road, and now we're on to the next.
Everything last week equals to 1-0 for the Bearcats. They go to 3-2 on the year. More importantly, 1-0 in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. The 2-game road trip is over. You return to Lehman Field this Saturday to take on another quality opponent in the conference in Truman State University. In the last 2 years that these 2 teams have played, the team that was expected to win not necessarily won the ball game. McHenry got out to a quick start last year. Truman State battled back, showed some grit, rallied for a 17-14 win, and it's another team in the conference. You throw records out the window. These 2 teams come ready to play.
Absolutely. You look at it, even in the 5 years that I've been here, it's been up and down, and it's really anybody's ball club. It really comes down to execution. Who's going to execute at a higher level. This is a tough football team. I think they've got 3 great phases in offense, defense, special team. I think they're coached very well. We go head-to-head with them a lot in recruiting as well, so we recruit the same type of guys that they do. So, again, this is another quality game and a quality opponent coming into our place for a home game. So my hope is we're ready to go.
You look at Truman on both sides of the ball. First, offensively, very workmanlike effort. They don't necessarily put up the points that the Bearcats do per se, but they have a very multifaceted attack, and leading the way is their third-year starting quarterback, Jaden Barr, who's on pace to put up 2,500 yards of total offense, runs and throws the ball very effectively.
Yeah, you look at the statistics. He's the third highest rusher in the league right now. You look at him last year, and They must have, came close to setting an NCAA record for rushing attempts. They had 71 against us last year. And so this is a team that likes to run the ball. Obviously, their quarterback is kind of their big name guy. I also really like their running backs. And they got a solid offensive line, to kind of round out the deal. I think that they want to control the clock. I think they want to get first downs. They want to get their defense off the field. And, even though they're not a high scoring, offense at the point, they win football games. So, my hat's off to them.
You look at Truman State defensively, and it's a very opportunistic defense. They take advantage of mistakes that the opponents give them, and that's certainly the case early on. Turnover that led to a score during their win against William Jewell, and it's a team that has always given the Bearcats fits, it seems like, the last few years.
Yeah, you look at last year, and then defensively, it was really tough for us to stay on the field offensively. We had a lot of 3 and outs in the second, third, and fourth quarter. And they were able to stay on the field for their offense. But, you look at their defense and, they've got a lot of guys that just run hard. You watch the tape and they're just all over the place. And that's from coaching. That's from, getting those guys to play hard and play fast. So, again, my hat's off to them. I really like their defensive end, Sam Reeves, number 9. I think he's a talented individual. I think their D-line is solid. I think their linebackers run around very good. And they do some things in the back half, both secondary and linebackers, that kind of causes you fits, in the coverage lanes. I think they're very good at what they do. And so you see teams, when you turn on the film, that don't necessarily are just scoring points left and right. They grind it. They run hard and they play fast. And so, again, I think we have a great challenge ahead of us for us offensively.
One of the big things for the Bearcats, getting back at home, the creature comforts of being at Lehman Field after a long 2-game road swing, the swing to Chowan, and then going up for a Saturday night game at Quincy. What has been your message to the team preparing for Truman State this week?
It has still been the 1-0, and it's not just because, of a loss or a win, but really last week was last week. This is a new week and against a very quality opponent in Truman State. And so can you be able to put the last one behind you and go for it regardless of whether you're on home or away? And can we have a lot of juice? We had a lot of juice last week for practice. Can you be able to continue that, mind frame as we kind of get into this middle part of the season, which has always been kind of a grind, for a lot of teams? Can you just get past the mundane and past the kind of averageness, that ends up happening to a football team, and can you grow and become better champions, because of it? So I thought we had a good week of practice, and now it's just, let's get ready to go on Saturday.
Coach, thanks for joining us. Good luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget, if you can't make it to Lehman Field, we'll have the broadcast live on the Bearcat Sports Network at glvcsn.com/McKendry, beginning with the pregame show Saturday at 12:45 p.m.